This is Jose with Oakland Latinos United, aka Oakland Latinos Unidos, out here on 7th Street in Jefferson in the old barrio in Oakland. And I'm here talking to an old friend that I've known about 20 years now, and I actually met him during my research of Latino history in Oakland. And give us a brief introduction of who you are.
Gustavo Loza, grew up on 6th and Grove, better known as Martin Luther King Way now.
So that's right down the street, huh? So that's in West Oakland. And, you know, in my studies, you know, and talking to you, you know, a lot of people don't realize that the first barrio or the first Mexican neighborhood or Latino barrio was in West Oakland here in this area, correct?
Yes.
And what was that neighborhood like at that time?
It was very different. There was a very large families, a lot of children in the neighborhood, a lot of bars, a lot of churches.
Yeah. St. Mary's and all those.
St. Mary's, St. Joseph's, St. Francis, all within walking distance. La Borinqueña, Mi Rancho, Ciudad de Mexico were all on 7th Street.
Mexicali Rose too.
Mexicali Rose, also. All neighborhood families.
And also there used to be the Star Theater on 7th Street and Market, right?
7th and Market, yeah, the lovely Art Deco Theater. I saw it boarded up and thought they were going to build something nice. It turned out to be a McDonald's.
Oh, was it on the McDonald's side or on the Acorn side?
It was on the McDonald's side.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was on the Acorn side.
From the McDonald's side.
Oh, okay. And that was before, at least before your time, that was the focal point for the Latino community in this area, right?
Oh yeah. That was where all the musicians and artists would go to perform live. After that, they moved over to Plaza on 7th and.
7th and East 12th.
East 12th and 7th Avenue.
By Clinton Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The street. That's where the Star Theater moved, and they called it the Plaza.
Plaza. Yeah, I went there as a kid. I remember. Yeah. They played all the Cantinflas movies and all that good stuff.
All the Spanish movies and all the Spanish entertainers, Mexican entertainers, basically.
And when did your family come to this neighborhood? Because you told me some of your family came here in the 40s, right?
Oh, yeah. We immigrated here in 64, but my uncle and great aunt moved here in 1948.
Okay.
So they were here. They were here when there was the 8 train running down 7th Street.
Oh, the key system and all that.
System
yeah.
Was still around.
And the Pachucos were still around, huh?
They were still around. They still had the Pachucos. Their mortgage at that time was $25 a month.
Damn. Well, where did they live when they came here?
They came from Jalisco.
No, I mean, what street did they live in Oakland?
6th Street.
Oh, on 6th Street?
6th Street, yeah. We moved into the house that they bought.
So generally, the Mexican area of West Oakland, where was it kind of? Like, what was the geography of it? It was like...
Basically, if you think about it, it was from Peralta all the way to Broadway.
Okay. Wow, that's a big stretch.
But it was mixed.
Mixed, yeah.
It was mixed. You know, it was a Latin community, but you still had some old Italian families left in the neighborhood.
Portuguese too, right?
A couple of Portuguese. There were still Jewish families in the neighborhood, Black families in the neighborhood, Chinese. So it was a mixed neighborhood, just predominantly was Latinos.
Yeah.
Mexicans, a few Puerto Ricans, a few people from Spain. The Central Americans hadn't gotten here yet.
Yeah. And a lot of the Puerto Ricans, I'm not sure if you're familiar, a lot of them came from Hawaii, right?
They came from all over the place. Some came from Hawaii, some came direct from the islands.
From the islands? Yeah. And basically, they say that the lower part of 7th Street was like the Harlem of the West, correct?
The blacks were on the other side of Peralta.
Oh, okay. Like the lower part of West Oakland.
That's where the Pullman used to have their homes. And that was the end of the line for the Chicago line.
Okay.
So people in Chicago knew about 7th Street, Oakland, because all the blues and jazz clubs on 7th Street.
Like Slim Jenkins and those? Yeah.
Esther's Orbit House.
Yeah.
And many, many more.
Also, around Pine Street, a lot of people don't know that the Braceros had a camp out there for the railroad workers that were brought during World War II. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
That I'm not familiar with.
Yeah,
But-
my
but-
grandfather actually came here during that time. I think I told you this before.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were brought here for work
Yeah, for sure.
during World War II.
The shipyards and all that.
Shipyards, Kaiser Steel, and then you had a lot of steel factories then. Phoenix
Yeah.
Steel, Jurgensen Steel. So you had a lot of blue collar,
For sure.
lots of blue collar work in Oakland.
And the Port of Oakland, too, and the railroad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lots of factories, lots and lots of factories, a lot of import export places. It was a blue collar town.
Yeah. And do you remember also? I remember a lot of also Chicanos living here in Oakland that came during World War II that were from like Texas and New Mexico. I remember there used to be a lot of those around here.
During the 40s, particularly World War II, there was so much labor needed here that people came from all over.
Yeah.
From all over. As a matter of fact, my great aunt first got here in '44,
Okay.
and that's why she wanted to return, because she was so prosperous here in '44 that she returned in '49 with my uncle.
Yeah. And so, just before we end this, so why did this neighborhood disappear, and how did the Raza started moving to the Fruitvale area?
Well, eminent domain, freeways, BART, urban development.
Urban renewal, right?
Yeah,
Black people and brown people removal.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. In 1966, everything from Castro to Union, from 6 to 12 was leveled, block after block after block.
Yeah.
The original project was the Acorn project that only lasted about 20 years because it was so poorly built. And
The Cypress only lasted like 30 years. The freeway,
let's see, 58 to 84.
89.
89.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 30 something years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, the Acorn project is long gone.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, it's been gone longer than it even existed.
There's still a remnant of it though on a market. They still call that area Acorns.
Still call it Acorn, but that's
Same
the
spot?
project.
Okay,
It's that
okay.
Same project. All
Yeah.
those buildings were destroyed.
Yeah.
They were all demolished, and what's there now is what was replaced the old Acorn project.
So yeah, man. So I'm just trying to educate people because as we talked many times, that the Latino history of Oakland has always been ignored for whatever reason. It's not much in history books. So I like to talk to people like you to get this information out there so people could know this history.
Oakland has a rich history, not only with Latinos, but Asians, blacks, and now we even have a Muslim community.
And Guatemalan community, Mayan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Central Americans started moving in
The 80s.
the 80s.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the 80s during the
The
Reagan,
wars. Yeah.
the Reagan wars in Central America.
Yeah.
Again, migration is something that humans been doing for millennia, so it's nothing new.
So you're living proof, man, that like when people say that Latinos just jumped the border and came here yesterday, you're living proof that we've been here a long time.
Oh, and
Some longer.
oh yes. As a matter of fact, the reason we stayed in Oakland was because my great aunt hooked up with some people from the old country that had been here since the 1920s.
Okay. Yeah.
So again, usually the migration happened to from certain areas. You went to areas where you knew people from your community.
Yeah, for sure. That still kind of happens
Still
now.
happens today.
So before we end it, let them know where we're at, man. What's the store?
Oh, we're at the shoe spot in the corner of 7th and Jefferson. I've been here for 25 years, but obviously I grew up in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Before we moved to the Fruitvale.
And you're still here.
Still here.
So come and support Gus is Gustavo Gus, a.k.a. Gus's shop. If you need some shoes, some Birkenstock or some dress shoes or work shoes, come support a man. It's a Latino, Raza-owned business that's been here for a long time. And thank you, Gus, for doing this interview with me.
You're welcome.
All right.